Welcome to the More Than This podcast, where we dive into conversations with good friends to bring us out of our stress, away from our to-dos, and out of our head. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. It's great to have you. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review to help others find out about the show. With that out of the way, let's jump right in.
You just got done with a pretty big filming like a reality show type of thing for Amazon, right? So how was that? Cuz you got to film with a pretty big celebrity from Mexico.
Yeah, Eugenio Derbez, that
Yeah,
guy and his
there you
family, about how Eduardo, Aislinn, and like the whole family,
go.
they're
His whole
pretty cool.
family.
Yeah, we went all over. Started out in Boise,
Uh-huh.
over in crappy little Boise.
Oh, of
I'm
course,
just
yeah.
kidding. Everybody loves Boise, dude. Anytime I've ever worked with a film crew that comes in, they all want to move to Boise afterwards because they
Nice.
love it. It's
No,
got
tell
great
him
nightlife
not
and all
to.
that.
Tell him
Oh
not
yeah, no,
to.
it sucks actually. Anybody
Yeah,
listening to this,
yeah,
if you're
it
not from
sucks.
here,
Well, yeah,
it's
no.
pretty crappy.
Nobody move here ever. Yeah.
But then we went camping up at the yurts. I think it's by Stanley, and then we went to Yellowstone. We hit up a bunch of stops on the way, but the big ones, Yellowstone and Glacier National Park. And it was a big reality show, like just a celebrity reality show is what we called it. And it must be nice when you get to a point where your show is just you on vacation, because that's pretty much what
Yeah.
the Derbezes were doing.
I mean, how was it? I don't know obviously how much detail you can give, but just kind of being there, like you said, their whole show is basically just them on vacation. So, how was it like when they showed up on set? Like, were they just like casually showing up, or were they like, oh, gotta have like my makeup ready, or how was it? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of a weird, different world, I guess.
Yeah, here's the day-to-day life. We show up, we have a big meeting in the morning with all the crew, a lot of us, and they were paying for all of us to stay in super nice hotels. Dude, the budget was ridiculous. But anyways, uh, all of us would meet up for a meeting. We talk about what we need to do. We'd go set up, and that would take a long time. We'd set up, and then we'd do a shot of a certain area, and they would just show up for like an hour or two maybe, and we'd be already set up after being there for hours, like getting things ready and record them. They just did it raw. Like it was actually them just kind of experiencing things because Eugenio's
Nice.
funny, dude. He
Nice.
cracks me up.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
I
were no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean it's funny cuz I remember when you first got the job, you were nervous because so we had like a video shoot planned, like you and me or with the rest of our friends, and you were all nervous, and cuz you didn't kind of quite know how big Eugenio Derbez is in Mexico. Oh shoot, I'm getting a phone call. Oops. So you didn't know how big he really was, and it's funny how you mentioned in the phone call you were like that the producer said, "Oh, your mom might know who he is," and then you mentioned him to me, and I was like, "What? Of course! Like everybody knows who
Yeah,
Eugenio Derbez is." But yeah, I
my mom was
mean,
freaking out.
I bet. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Did you watch any of his other stuff, or did you not have time?
Yeah, I watched a couple of his movies. Yeah, he's funny, dude. And then, like one of the moments I was gonna say, we were already out of Wyoming after for a few days now,
Uh
and went
huh.
into Montana over like Yellowstone area, and we're like sitting around the campfire, and well, Eugenio and stuff, but we're like on the outskirts recording and stuff. And he like stood up and like hollers to the sky in the middle of the night like a wild man. He's just like, "Good night, Wyoming." And I'm like, we haven't been in Wyoming for like 3 days now, but
Wrong
it's so funny.
place, but I like the enthusiasm, right?
Dude, yeah, they cracked me up. And his dog Fiona,
Oh,
they're
they
pretty
took
cool.
the dog too.
Yeah, it was some strict COVID guidelines, so
Hmm.
it was kind of a weird experience having to do a show while dealing with coronavirus, but it
S-
was cool.
So you had to quarantine, right? Cuz we had a camping trip right before, and then you had to
Hmm.
leave. You had to leave for 2 weeks, and you had to stay in the same hotel, or how did that work?
Yeah, it was like a week or 10 days or something like that. We right after I left our camping trip, which we barely snuck by.
Yeah, I know.
I had to leave early in the morning and show up and then go straight into quarantine, which was chill. I was in a decent hotel in Boise, just watching TV. I actually had a lot of videos I had to edit for my clients, so it gave me a good big space of time to just sit there and work.
Nice. Wait, I guess that's kind of my next thing. Like, so would you call yourself a filmographer, or what do you what's your official title, I guess, that you
Whoa, dude, I don't think I've ever even filmographer. That one I should go by now. That sounds cool.
honestly, I don't even know if that's an actual word or if I
I
just
don't
made it
know.
up, but
Dude, there's so many random terms out for videographer, filmmaker, filmographer,
yeah.
cinematographer.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know, dude.
just
I just
pick
tell
one
people I
and
make videos.
yeah. I just make random videos. It's no
Like
big
if
deal.
you
Yeah.
need a video for advertisement or you need a video that's cinematic, like I can make it. I know I'm a camera operator, I guess.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, like, so I wanted to talk with you as well about you posted recently that you were gonna do like a story. I don't even know what to call it, but like a story about your life. So like,
Short
tell us,
films?
or I'm sounding like an interviewer. Tell us about it. What made you kind of go down that route, and yeah, kind of because you've always been creative. I've known you since high school. We grew up together, and you've always been very creative in that, in a sense. But what kind of led you to kind of the camera work and now filming your own or filming your own life? Yeah, about your own life.
Yeah, about to happen. Thanks, man, for the creative things. But yeah, I mean, obviously how long I've been like trying to make things and doing filmmaking,
Yeah.
and I haven't made my own short film yet. I've just like recorded the world,
Mm-hmm.
and I've also helped people make their own short films.
Yeah.
And I guess I've just been waiting. My first film I was gonna make was our documentary, which got
Yeah.
squashed on this year, but
It's
we're gonna
fine.
get it next. We're gonna
I'm
get
not.
it next year,
I'm not
dude. When
even
it
salty.
starts
I'm not
warming
even
up.
salty about it. It's fine.
Oh gosh, but dude, I just was realizing, just a lot after lots of deep thoughts and watching other people's great works. I realized the best story you can tell is like your own story or reflecting into a story, because who can tell our stories better than us? Like I could try to tell someone else's story, but I only know, an outer perspective of that. I know my story from the inside out. And there's lessons in my life I've learned that I really want to pass on that have really helped me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of wanted to incorporate those lessons and those experiences I went through into film now. And I really think I can make something great out of it. I have my first script already written and prepared. I'm in the
Really?
storyboarding process. Yeah, dude, and I'm excited. I've shared it out to other writers so they can read it and also shoot me out some creative ideas on how to improve it. I've improved it like 4 different times already. Uh, and I think it's at a level where it can be good, and it's going to set me up for other ones that I can make that are going to be good. It's a real pretty easy one, but I'm gonna hire actors. I'm gonna go
Oh,
the whole way through.
that's literally what I was gonna ask. If you were gonna go like, if you were gonna be in it like yourself, or if you were
Mm.
gonna hire actors.
Yeah,
I
so
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Sorry.
I was thinking about how as artists, you're a graphic designer yourself. I'm a camera operator. There's a certain level when you get to your art form where you can't work for free anymore. Your skills have surpassed that, and you need to make a living. And so and also people who don't want to pay you, it's kind of a sense they don't respect or think you have value to bring, like, for that money. They think it should just be free. All creative things should be free. And especially as filmmakers, I think starting out filmmakers think that way towards actors a lot. I caught myself thinking that way, like I'll just try to find someone who's, a decent
Yeah.
actors can be for
Yeah.
free because it's small. But I'm treating it the way I treat my own work. I don't work for free anymore. I don't expect, and I want a quality project. I have high expectations for this film, and so I'm gonna put the money in to hire someone who's developed their skills in acting to the point where they can bring my project up too.
Yeah, I mean that makes all the difference, and I mean I only barely got into the acting game not too long ago, so I'll speak more on the graphic design kind of sense of things, but yeah, no, it totally just depends, and budget is a thing, right? So if your budget doesn't allow, then obviously you have to work within that. But yeah, most people sometimes always just expect things for free when it comes to creative work, and yeah, it's just kind of not right because for design work your job is to kind of make the end result look simple, but it's in getting to that final product that's not simple at all. So that's essentially what you're paying for. So yeah, more power to you. Um,
Dude, I took graphic design class at CSI, and oh my gosh, it was hard. And like learning the
yeah,
complexities of graphic design, I was like, wow, there's a lot to this.
yeah. No, I mean, I forgot what I was gonna say. Like, well, I mean, I would totally audition for you, like to be you, but we're totally different, like in every
Well,
way. So
the key thing for this coming up role is they need to be able to play guitar. So my guitar, you know me and my guitar right now. My grandpa, who passed away when I was younger, he was a big father figure to me, and he was the one who he got shot by the cartel in Mexico. And I
yeah,
wanted to make this film kind of dedicated to him because he gave me his guitar. And
wow,
so now that I'm learning and playing guitar now, like I feel like I'm kind of it's kind of like a piece of my grandpa as well.
yeah, like
And so this
fulfilling
whole
that.
film's kind of this whole film's kind of based on that like connection. And so I need someone who can play guitar. That's my main role. But I'll send you the script, dude, and you can give me
Dude,
your own
that
creative input on it too.
yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, no, definitely. When you start looking for actors, I'll take myself out of the running because I think you need somebody obviously who can. I mean, you were in the military, you've done so many things that. I mean, obviously, with my disability, I wouldn't be able to portray accurately. So, yeah, it was just kind of more of a joke. I'm like, what would it be like? It would be kind of like meta. Can you imagine? Since like me playing you, but we've known each other forever. Yeah, it'd be
Yeah.
weird. Oh man,
I named my main character Steven for Steven Mejia. So
really?
yeah, that was my little because that yeah, you saw Steven's dog Jack. He had him for a while, just died. Dude, Steven, he's had it pretty rough, and I kind of wanted to
Hmm.
make a little ode to him too.
That's
Honestly,
so
all my
nice,
films,
dude. That's so nice.
dude, you're gonna have a film too. I want to make a
Oh
I want
my
every
gosh,
like I have a bunch of films planned. I have all my notes of
it's
each one I
gonna
want
be
to
a
make,
series.
and each character is gonna be one of my best friends' names. So
That's
we're gonna
awesome.
find the role where it's who's gonna be Miguel for which film.
That's awesome. Yeah. No, I'm sure. I mean, does Steven know, or is it gonna be a
Oh,
surprise?
Steven doesn't know yet. It's kind of not like a big like announcement thing. I don't even know
Yeah.
how many times if they'll even say the name in the script or not. But I just
Yeah.
wanted to do that for like I'm trying to tie it connecting to me as much as possible. The
I
story.
mean, honestly, it's all about the gesture. I wasn't imagining that you were gonna like unveil the name of your character, like. But I think it's a
Enters
really
the
cool.
room, Steven Mejia.
Right, right. I think it's a really nice gesture from your part, and I'm sure he's gonna appreciate it for sure. Oh man, yeah. I swear you always have. So one cool thing about you is that you always have cool projects, for lack of a better word, really. Like you're always just thinking about different things to do, or different ways to express yourself, and I feel like that's awesome.
It's a blessing and a curse, dude.
I bet.
Just
I
like
bet
you want to just have a peace of mind time for a while, but if I'm not doing anything for too long, I'm just like, when I'm wasting time. I need to be
that
making something.
yeah, no, I'm totally with you there. How has it been for you? Um, cause you travel a lot, so you pretty much have like a decked out van where it's kind of your like go to, like yeah, your kind of place to go. Basically, it's really sweet, really awesome. Does that sometimes get hard for you, or are you just used to it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think one thing that came to play, as you know, last school year I lived in this van
Mm-hmm.
in like the city of downtown Portland,
Yeah.
and that was an experience. But the first week or two, dude, the thing about humans, we're like the ultimate adapting machines. Like you can put us in any situation long enough or any task long enough, we'll eventually like get used to it and it becomes normal. When I was in the Marine Corps flying in helicopters, before I went in, I took Monica. We went and got a freaking helicopter ride because I wanted to like go on a helicopter ride. It's so fun. By the end of my Marine Corps experience, I was sick of helicopters. I was like, which other people they want to go fly helicopters, and I'm like, I am done with that. Like that was we flew too many times. I just got burnt out. But like you get used to things which that you wouldn't imagine getting used to. And like in my van, sorry, this fly's trying to attack me. the, in my van though, the first couple weeks, man, I was like so lonely. I was so bored and like kind of like feeling a little scared of being like in like a garage. I was in a parking garage.
Yeah.
There's I told you about the story like these homeless like addicts trying to break into my van in the
Yeah.
middle of the night while I'm
That's
sleeping
crazy.
in it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it was a little scary, but then eventually I got to a point where like me and the streets, we like
Became
merged and
one.
became one. But like I felt comfortable. Like I was like, this is my home. Like
Yeah.
It felt normal. And I feel like it's probably like that for everything. I've talked to a lot of hitchhikers. I pick up, I'm a hitchhiker
Dude,
picker upper.
yeah, dude.
And I pick their brains out, and like you get used to it, man. You get used to
Yeah.
anything.
No, I remember when you went to when we went to Camden's wedding, one of our good friends, and you literally spent part of the night getting to know homeless people at a McDonald's.
Oh my!
And
I bought them all food.
yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, you came back to where you were staying, and I was like, what?
Yeah, that was dude. They're the funnest people to know. The most fun. Yeah, because they're just so like they hit a filter level where they don't like they'll just tell you how it is, and they'll tell you their story. And normally for a person to get to that stage of life or doing what they're doing, it's like they have a story to tell. And
Yeah.
and most people I feel like are kind of scared of those, homeless people or hitchhikers because of the possibilities. Luckily for me, I'm a pretty big
Right,
person,
dude.
so
Right,
like
dude. Yeah.
my fear goes down a little because I feel like I can
You
protect
can
myself
defend
fairly well.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I do martial arts for people who don't know, like jujitsu and Muay Thai. So I know where my level of ass kicking can handle.
Yeah.
Sorry for cursing, but yeah, I'm definitely not a super bad person. Like people can beat me up, but like my fear level drops because I understand what I'm capable of doing and if I can handle myself in certain situations. But yeah, what was I what was I about to tell you?
I don't know,
Oh, talking to
actually.
homeless. Oh yeah,
Oh,
dude. They
yeah,
just got
yeah.
like they have crazy stories, and yeah, it's just fun to pick their brains on life. There's a bias I was learning about. Everyone wants to learn about the most successful person, and learn how they got there and hear everything that got them there, and they take that one path and say and think that's the way. But then there's also a person who could have possibly taken that path, but maybe something happened and it didn't work out for them. But we never hear about it. We don't know about those things. So you just kind of have a bias of wanting to learn about the successes only. Not saying that it's a failure because some people are so happy, homeless. Like it's a choice and it's a lifestyle. But it's good to like hit all the perspectives so you can get a full grasp of life versus just getting the motivational talks and shooting for
Yeah.
motivation.
No, you're totally right. I think that makes you a very well-rounded individual. Just because you've gotten a lot of, you hear people essentially. Because when you've traveled all over the world, obviously, like in the military, and then when you were done with the military, you kind of traveled. You went to Europe and Asia, right?
I
All
just
of
did
it.
like a around the world 80-day thing
Right, and then you did
with just
videos
a
where
backpack.
right. I mean, that's that's so cool. So you talked to different people while you were there, right? So like, I don't know, how was I know we've talked about it in the past, but what do you think are the main differences between just like here in the U.S. and versus in Europe or in Asia and the places you visited?
Yeah, dude, I got a good story because during that time, I had my little camera, a little Sony, and I was like trying to make the goal of like I want to make exciting videos, interesting videos, and I want to meet interesting people and tell their stories. And I was pretty closed-minded. I didn't realize it. I was closed-minded during that time.
Uh
Yeah,
huh.
I was thinking like there was a specific person like that I needed to find, a certain like a refugee or something like that.
Oh.
Someone
Uh
with a
huh.
great story. And I had like I kind of picked and chose who was going to be the voices in these videos, and then I realized after lots of conversations, like everyone has
Yeah.
a story.
Everyone
Like
has a
every
story.
single person
Yep.
has a story,
Yep.
and like I was trying to find the ones that were like gonna make beautiful stories, and I
Right.
just
Right.
yeah the realization hit me like everybody has a beautiful story, and I was kind of being you know what I'm trying to say. Like I
Yeah,
was being picky. Yeah.
no, totally. We kind of have this preconceived notion of stereotypes, right? Like, oh, this person, he's suffered a lot, or he's been through a lot, so I need to get his story or her story or whatever, right? So that's kind of what you were kind of hoping to find, but you were focusing more on the story rather than the person themselves.
Yeah, well, I was even like counting people out of being a possible subject in stories because I already assumed that you're probably basic. You're not like coming from a refuge of a war or like
Right.
my friend Musa in Italy. I was staying in the back countries of Italy. with this African refugee from it starts with a G. It's in Africa.
I'll
Well, someone will know.
so no, no, Google it,
Yeah,
somebody.
and he was so cool. We ate pizza every day, and we had great stories. And I expected everyone needed to be like Musa. I thought everyone needed to have a crazy story coming from crazy past. And then I was like sitting on these airplanes or on train rides and talking to people and learning like people whose like grandpa just developed Alzheimer's and having to live with them while their grandpa had Alzheimer's, and learning that every person has a crazy unique story that turns them into the people they are now. And it really started changing my perspective, opening my mind up to possibilities. And eventually my road of creativity led me to wanting to just tell my own story, because I know that's the story I can tell the best.
Ooh, man, that's that's so that's such a good insight. Well, even when like with things like Alzheimer's and stuff like that, right? Like it's something that we can all experience because it can affect all of us, no matter kind of what our state in life is. So it's cool that yeah, the world is huge and people have a lot of different experiences, but at the end of the day, we're all kind of united at the same time because we all,
Oh yeah.
suffer like the same
Yes.
illnesses or the same kind of struggles, just in different
We've all
ways.
felt sadness. We've all felt
Right,
pain.
right, right,
We
right.
all felt happiness, and we're all chasing that happiness.
Yeah,
And we can if we all sat down and talked, whether especially in America right now, whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, imagine if we could just like sit down and talk and get to know each other. I feel that would change everything. And that's why I wanted to share my stories, like that big post I put, me holding the blue rag and stuff. So
yeah.
embarrassing, dude. I did not want to post that,
Really?
but yeah,
I
dude, that's
didn't even
embarrassing
recognize
stuff.
you, honestly.
Telling too much dirt and like telling about your dumb past can be embarrassing, but it's also
Oh,
like
tell me about it.
free. It's freeing, dude. It's freeing because then, and it's also like I feel like it gives people an insight to who you are, and it like the judgment level drops because people understand you. And I feel like that could go across the whole board for the whole world. 8 billion of us almost here, and we all just can generalize each other, think we know what those mentality people think and what they want, but like we forget that we're individuals and that we all
Yeah,
grow up through certain circumstances that I could have been you could have been me if we came up to the same circumstances, but like
yeah.
the, the world, the way the universe worked,
Well, yeah,
universe.
I totally agree with you. I think something that we forget, especially in our current time, is that we each have a reason for doing things. Like whether you agree with a certain decision or not, like the other person that you may disagree with, the other person may believe that they're doing the right thing, right? So it's not in judging kind of the end result, but in, like you're saying, getting to know the reason why it was done and getting to know the person behind that decision. I think is what we need to know, what we should focus on, instead of just
Yeah.
like, oh, this person's just automatically terrible, or this person
Hmm.
doesn't understand, or stuff like that. But
It's
man,
work though. It takes
it
work
is
to get to
work.
know people,
Yeah,
and it takes
because
patience if you
you
don't
have
agree.
to open yourself up, right? All the
Hmm.
patience, yeah, and
Because there are assholes out there.
yeah. I can't.
Do you like do you like cussing on here? I'm trying to
No,
filter.
no,
Sorry.
no, no. No. You can cuss. I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with cussing.
I think S is the one word that's my go-to word.
No, no, no. I think no. I think I'm fine with cussing. I think I might just
Okay.
still like blurt it out. Like like not bleep it out, but just kind
Oh,
of take
okay,
it
yeah.
out. Just because
Okay,
I
cool.
I keep thinking about like my nephews, like if they
Oh
listen to
yeah,
this,
yeah. That's what I
yeah,
was thinking about too. I'm like about your. Well, I'm a Marine, guys. Just so you know, like I was in the Marine Corps, so like being rowdy and obnoxious is kind of a little bit embedded into me.
no, no, yeah, and I'm totally fine with, like, I don't want to censor how each person is either. So in the conversation, I want, if you want to cuss, then by all means go ahead and cuss.
Okay,
But I
cool, man.
just, yeah, so feel free. Um,
Yeah.
don't push it, Jason. I'm just kidding. No, you're
You
good.
can edit that.
What was I gonna say?
Dude, it's so fun to be able to just like talk to you. Like this is a good excuse to like hang out and talk because
Dude,
like we haven't talked in a while
I know, since you were here in Boise.
since the camping trip before I
Yeah,
went to the Dare Best
yeah.
show.
Oh,
Yeah.
actually, yeah. That was the last time we spoken. But I feel like at the camping trip, everybody was I was so tired. I feel like I wasn't necessarily all present at our camping trip. I mean, it was still,
Really?
yeah, it was
I
still
felt like
good
you
to
were
see
there.
everybody. I mean, I was, but I wasn't feeling like totally myself just because I was
Yeah.
exhausted at that
Yeah.
point. So
I
I was
feel you.
telling Gage, I was like, oh man, this. I'm like, I'm sorry. I was like, I wish I would have got like more sleep or something because yeah. But it was still
No,
nice
dude,
to
it's
see
all good.
everybody for sure,
Hmm.
as always.
Going sitting by the river, enjoying nature,
Yeah, I can't believe we went to.
rewinding.
Dude, I wish we would have like recorded how you guys like brought me down that hill because it was like
Yeah,
it was like a team
it was
effort.
straight teamwork. You're
I
right.
wish
We had a chain going.
yeah, it was literally like a chain and you guys were like throwing me off, like throwing me from like one person to another, and I was just like, okay,
Yeah, I
well,
just wanted
just
to hike you over my
uh,
shoulder and take you down, but
no, dude, it was steep. It was steep.
it was
Yeah,
steep.
there's
I mean,
no
I
way.
almost fell, dude. I almost
Yeah,
fell myself. I was at
yeah.
the top of the chain. The
No.
dirt was sliding down and stuff.
So what are you doing now? Like,
Right now, currently, I came over to my mom's place while I'm in the van because uh, Keisha came, my sister, and she's visiting. So I wanted to come over here, and I gotta find a place. I'm finding a place in Twin that lets me have dogs, so I can take Bosco with me. It's kind of tricky finding a place within a budget that takes dogs.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
'Cause everyone that will take dogs is like $1,000 plus, and that's a lot for Idaho,
yeah. I mean,
like Twin Falls, Idaho area.
everything's getting so expensive everywhere, even here in Boise. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's exciting though. So you are looking for a place in Twin.
Gonna settle, especially since I just got that email that next winter is remote learning too. It's like I'm not going back to Portland. I'm gonna stay here and do my thing. Got clients here already, so might as well keep building on that.
Yeah, I saw that you filmed like a grandparent and grandchild
Oh
type of
yeah,
interaction. I thought
the
that
young
was really
family,
cool. Yeah.
dude. They're the coolest. They're like, oh man, dude, these people, they're straight ballers. I'm gonna fix my camera a little. They're yeah, I'm so glad I got associated with them. They're so cool. They're a fun family, and they have these fun projects in mind. We got more coming. But
Yeah.
yeah, those two, that was just kind of stuff I recorded when I was like, in between shooting
Oh,
the
really?
for the commercial. Yeah, I saw them, and dude, I said that in my caption. You can feel the love like radiating off them somehow.
Yeah.
You could, like, they were like neck and neck, like they were so cute. They just followed each other everywhere, and you could sense some freaking the bond between them.
I feel like what you posted kind of really captured it. Like teaching, it was cool to see the grandfather teaching his grandchild kind of how to shoot, like how to properly
Yeah,
shoot a gun.
passing the knowledge,
Yeah,
like
that's what you said.
safety and
Passing the
shooting.
knowledge, safety. Yeah. So I was like, man, it made me think a little bit about like life in general, and I guess like where I am, like with my nephews and stuff, like
Mm,
the types of things that I kind of wanna teach them
pass.
as they grow. Yeah, because I mean, that's kind of how life is, you know. Like there's
Yeah,
no
it
there's no
really is.
use in knowing anything, like everything, if you can't pass it along to somebody or help somebody else.
Dude, actually, my short film about the guitar,
Mhm.
that's one of the lessons in there. It's like the passing of knowledge,
Mhm.
and I kind of got that inspiration because I was playing guitar and I got taught a little bit while I was in Mexico. And then I caught myself passing knowledge to like Isaiah because
Oh,
he
nice.
wanted to learn some, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to like kind of get that message in there, and I got it in there in a cool way. I'll send you the script. I'm
Okay.
excited for this one.
I'm
Maybe you can
so
come help me out on it, dude.
yeah. I'll if you need designy stuff, let me know.
Oh yeah,
But
all right, I will.
I'm really excited for it. Yeah, I can do like a cool poster for it if you want me to or
All
whatever you
right,
need.
dude. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
definitely be hitting you up.
What is true friendship?
True friendship, dude. One word. I would say loyalty, but it's not even loyalty. I would say actually, I'm changing this. Friendship is when you want to see. It's like when you're like in love with someone, kind of, but like you don't find them intimately. You want the best for them. Like you want to see them happy. You want to see them succeed. And I think real friends, they work for that. They enjoy your company, but they want to see you happy, and they're happy around you. And like I think that's pretty much what it bases around. Because I think when people hear the word loyalty, it's like ride or die. You got to be next to me. What if they're going down a bad path, you've got to be building each other up, finding that group that you guys grow, like having a group that helps you grow together. I think that's friendship. Like the best quality of friendship you could get when you have friends that help you push to be the next better and best level of you that you can be.
Sweet. That was
Wait,
great.
no, don't you avoid it. What's you? Come on now, let me hear
Oh,
you.
me? So, I
Yeah.
I was gonna answer it in kind of the my kind of trailery type of thing, but I'll just
Oh yeah, I want to hear
no,
it though.
I think so what I consider true friendship, I think I'm along the same lines as you. Kind of more philosophical, in a more philosophical way. I think it's someone who you can find the truth with, but I think you were spot on with somebody who you can grow with, because if you can't, there, like, you can have different levels of friendship, but I feel like the ones who continue to push you, like you were saying exactly, are the ones that kind of last the longest, because I don't know, you kind of continue to be open with each other. So yeah, I
Yeah, I
totally agree
feel that.
with you. Yeah.
Dude, no, and I cherish like our friendship, man. I have a special relationship with you, as I cherish because for one, we're both creatives, and we've both been at this creative industry together, like tackling it on, you know. And
Yeah.
for two, like the conversations me and you have are the type of conversations you can't
Insane.
have with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
we hit some
Yeah.
sensitive topics, and
Yeah.
we'll shoot down those holes.
Yeah, no, one of the things I really appreciate about you is that we can talk about like really controversial topics, and we might disagree, and we don't necessarily argue, but neither of us are afraid to voice our opinion, because I know that at the end of the day that still, like, you still care about me. Like, our friendship comes first, no
It never
matter.
gets hostile.
Right, right. And we always find like common ground or something, but we never, yeah, and we learn from each other. So I feel
Yeah.
like that's something that I really appreciate about you as well.
Yeah, and I feel like the underlying base when we hit these controversial topics that maybe we'll like, you know, the big ones, politics, religion, and things
Yeah.
like that. When we go down those rabbit holes together, we'll start getting heated. But the underlying thing, like I feel like the basis of our discussions are
Hmm.
always to like find the truth. Like you were saying,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
we're actually like questioning. We're
Yeah.
actually trying to ask legitimate questions instead of just trying to tear each other down. It's
Yeah.
like we're trying to like actually solve these questions together.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm on
And
board
we
with
give
you.
each other time to learn too. Like it's
Yeah.
like to be continued.
I know.
We're gonna go. We got more. We gotta learn because we're kind of
Like
dumb.
that other time, I literally sent you like homework or something,
Yeah,
or I forgot how I worded it, but like, yeah, it was just like a continuation of what we were talking about. But yeah, no, it was really good. And just because of your kind of breadth of experience, how, and your traveling and everything that you've done, like with the military and stuff, it just gives you so much experiential knowledge that for me it's like a blast to kind of dive in and get to know like the different, I don't know, everything that goes on in your life. Honestly, I feel like you're a very like interesting person in general. So yeah.
thanks, man.
Yeah. So the second question, who is one person that has impacted your life in a positive way, and how?
Oh man, one person who's impacted my life in a positive way, and how? I feel like I gotta choose someone pretty special for this. Uh, hmm. Damn, dude, there's so many great people in
I
my
mean, you
life.
could
That's so
do
hard to
multiple.
choose.
It's not like you have to choose one, Jason. No, you can make it work for you.
Yeah, one person who's impacted my life in a positive. Okay, I don't know. I think it's along Irvina. Irvina has impacted my life in such a positive way. I was such an angry little butthead before, dude.
No
And
way.
yeah, Irvina, she's now like a vegetarian and stuff, which I am not, but she has like such crazy compassion for things, and that was one thing I was lacking a lot when I first met her, and her compassion like has rubbed off of me. Her way of thinking rubbed off of me a lot, and I turned into a kinder person because of her, honestly. I started looking at things in a different
Whoa.
perspective.
That's a great answer. My goodness. All right, so the third question, let's see. What is one piece of advice you would give to the youngest member of your family?
One piece of advice I would give to my youngest member of my family, I give him advice all the time, but he doesn't listen to me. It's Isaiah Turner. That's my little brother. I think he already knows what advice I would be giving him, and I tell him two things I feel like you need to have to to have a decent life that I feel like I've learned, and that's checking your ego,
Ooh.
because a lot of things could be avoided, a lot of stress and things like that, when you can really understand when things are just kind of your ego and your pride versus like
Oh man, I hear
something
that.
you can handle a situation in a different way. And for me, especially throughout my life, I realized my ego got in the way of a lot of things that didn't have to be. So, and guess angry. I could have had a lot of happier times if I was able to check my ego when I was younger. But and then the other thing, you got to have discipline, and not like military discipline, but you're not going to want to do things. Anything worth having in life isn't going to come easy. And if you're only going to work when you're motivated, that's not enough work to be successful, to get the things you do, whether it's physically or with your career or spiritually or anything. Things are going to get hard, and you got to have the discipline to keep working at it even when you don't want to work at it. That's the most important time to work at it, is when you're not in the mood to do it. So that's what I would tell him. Check your ego, boy, and have some discipline.
How so?
I
How did
love
so?
that kid.
Huh?
I said, I love that kid. Then I give him a big hug.
So I just one question, kind of off that real quick. How did going into the military play into kind of that your ego for you? Just out of curiosity, because from what I've heard,
For my ego?
yeah, don't they beat that out of you?
Oh, oh, it built my ego up. I thought I was
Oh,
the baddest. I
really?
was a United States Marine. I was like, I'm the best of the best. And honestly, dude, honestly, in the Marine Corps, like you're kind of rewarded for being like a big to your subordinates. Like the meaner you are, the tougher you are. You know, you got a big ego. You just think you're the best, and you're a sergeant like that, and you push people to get to your standard. People applaud you for that. And then when I got out and got in the civilian world, I realized that's not always the best approach.
Like, yeah, no, totally. That does make sense in the context of the military though, because I mean you were deployed. I mean it's kind of like a life and death situation. So I could see how going into it with that mindset and not necessarily a passive mindset will help you in those like high stress situations. And I can
Yeah,
also go ahead.
I would say people forget a lot that that's the business of fighting wars.
Yeah,
So it's handled a little bit differently
true. Yeah.
when you're preparing to fight in a war.
No, that totally makes sense to me. Huh. Cool. I just thought I'd ask that question because I didn't know how that played. If that played against you or for you when you joined the military.
Yeah,
But
I
it's
think most
interesting.
Marines probably have to deal with that, having to learn how to check their ego, because you demand respect,
Right.
especially in the Marine Corps. If someone's subordinate than you, a lower rank, and they backtalk you, you can tell them like, you have how you say aye corporal, or like you make demand respect. Civilian world, you don't, and like the real world, civilian world, the real world, you can't just demand respect from everyone, and there's gonna be people who don't want to respect you sometimes, and it's an adapt. Like I know a lot of friends who have a hard time adapting,
Right.
so
Cuz
that's a big thing, having to learn
you
how
have
to
to
check
bite
your
your
ego.
tongue essentially, right?
You don't even have to bite your tongue. It's just learning how to not let people control your emotions. That was my thing. I
Ooh.
used to get angry. I used to let people make me angry with their words, and it's just pointless. I've realized just control my emotions, put my ego aside, and I'm just gonna be happy because
Uh-huh.
I want to have a happy life, and the people don't have to. Because I feel like biting your tongue sounds like,
Oh
I want
yeah, 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 that's true.
to,
That's very true.
but like just realizing, having some perspective on the situation, and realizing it doesn't matter.
Man, I like it. Those are those are great
And
answers, honestly, man. Well, thank you again for being on the podcast, man. It was a lot of fun talking with you. And then yeah, I'm sure people are gonna enjoy it. You're a very wise person.
oh, shut it. Thanks, man.
Of
Love you,
course.
bro.
Yeah,
Talk to you later. All
yeah.
right.
See you later. Bye.
You've been listening to the More Than Disc podcast. Before you go, don't forget to give us a quick rating and review, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and visit downwithdisc.com to stay up to date with the latest information about the show. Have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and we'll catch you on the next one.